Good evening. Would you like to help start a much needed sexual revolution in this world, which will lead to world peace, end all these ridiculous wars? It blows my mind that we got these other little boys in this world that would rather fight and kill than share their wives. So you would share your wives, and you would encourage your daughters to behave like your sons, like you should be doing, there'd be peace. But because we got, I'm trying to be kind, I ain't gonna say it. All right, my name is Coach Little D. I'd like to welcome you. Well, I speak for my cousin John. I'd like to welcome you to our brand new channel. I'm a Daddi of Justus. I think I forgot to say that last video. Anyway, I just made a video in which I explained how men are supposed to breed their wives. Okay, and now I'm kind of showing the biblical evidence to support that. This is a series of videos which I'm teaching what Jesus of Nazareth taught about sex. Okay, and it contradicts what the church teaches, but that's because I teach truth and the church teaches lies. Okay, so and when everybody, if get enough people to agree on something, say it enough times, a lie will sound like the truth, and the truth is going to sound crazy and like a lie. Okay, so what people need to understand is a long time ago, about 2,000 years ago, somebody on a cross, there was a certain message, right? And the church blew up, everything went where the church grew, and times were great. Okay, then somewhere along the way, things got a little off, and now here we are, and we're way off now with our rules and what we should be doing. What we actually the how we used to worship. Worship is supposed to involve sex. It is. It does involve groups having all things in common, all property in common. Book of Acts means women. That came directly from Plato, where he talks about having all things in common. And for those of you who are unaware or think that the Bible is the only inspired word of God, it's the only word, that's the only book that's the word of God. He doesn't talk in any other book. Okay, well, the Bible was inspired by a whole lot of other sources, a whole lot more. The New Testament was inspired by a ton of Greek myths, a bunch. Oh no, there's no way. Yes, there's way. Yes, when when you're cocky and that arrogant about your book being the only book from God, you're setting yourself up for that to fall flat on your face and look foolish. I mean, that's like saying, "Oh, Moses got the whole Torah in one night, and he wrote it. He got it all in one night, and he wrote Torah himself. Wrote it. None of that stuff. Moses couldn't write. He couldn't. He only had one hand. He got his hand cut off, and he was left-handed, or he was right in one of them. Moses couldn't write. How's it going? No, that was a lie. That was bad lies. That wasn't worth it. But no. So I basically said you're supposed to let your wife have an orgy. And I'm gonna show you now. See her pregnant. That's why you'll have fertility issues and miscarriage and stuff. Oh yeah, I meant to say, you want when your wife gets pregnant, you want to allow her, find her somebody. Well, this is what I would do to have one, maybe two guys that have sex while she's pregnant, so she'll prevent her from getting postpartum. That's how you prevent her, because the reason women get postpartum is because they believe they're unattractive, right? People don't want them no more. But no, if they have regular sex with another man that finds her attractive, and then her husband, that's gonna make, like, I don't know. I love pregnant looking women. Like this, anybody pregnant out there wants to have a little fun? No, I think you want to find the way you want to do it though is you want to have sex with the guy before you get pregnant, because I think another guy can change your pH or something, and you just want to kind of look into that. And I would say talk to a doctor. This is probably bad advice, but I feel like no, I shouldn't say that. We probably would want to talk to a doctor, but I mean, I don't see why a doctor wouldn't. The reason I'm being like this is I don't want a doctor to be like, no, that's a bad idea. But then I don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything bad for the baby or anything. And that's another thing I'm concerned about. Is like, I used to think about that. Like, well, if you have sex with somebody else while you're pregnant, and that's gonna be God's not like that. And I always figured that ran through people's minds or something. But I honestly believe. I mean, I figure it's worth a shot, even just to see. Some people just try it. Say, hey, how does this work? Does it prevent postpartum? Just kind of study, get some money, and pay y'all to have sex and make kids and stuff. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the books. Okay, so we're going to look at a parable, right? And it's a parable that's in all three of the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, and John. Or sorry, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Right? It's in Matthew 13, Mark 4, and Luke 8. Now, what's significant about these numbers? Okay, we said 13, Matt 13, Mark 4, Luke 8. Jacksonville Jaguars were 13-4 last year and ended on an 8-game winning streak. Okay, so it ties into them. Jacksonville Jaguars, for those you don't know, it's the first beast. Andrew Jacksonville Jaguars. Really, it's Donald Trump, Keith Hegseth, Andrew Jackson, all them good people. The dollar. Uh, anyway, that's the first beast. So, what was I even saying? Okay, yeah, that's the Jaguar trigger, right? Usually all tied to. So wait, I'll read here. I'll read from Matthew, I think. So Matthew 13. All right, again, I ain't reading all three of them because they pretty much say the same. But what you want to always do when you're doing stuff. So I'm not doing what I should be doing, but we did that. I can make another video for that. Is whenever you read a parable, like you always want to read it with the other ones, right? And see how they're different because when they're different, it's telling you something. And we're happy to show people this. It's wild. The Bible's a book of magic. It is. Okay, so it talks about the parable of the sower. All right, so basically, okay, I don't know if I like reading this, but I guess I will. That's 13:1. That same day, Jesus went out of the house, sat beside a sea. Great crowds gathered about him, so that he got into a boat and sat down. The whole crowd stood on a beach, and they went into darkness. Where we at? On the path. Parable. And he told them many things in parable, saying, a sower went to sow, and as he sowed, some seeds fell on the path, and the birds came and devoured them. Other seeds fell on rocky ground where they did not have much soil, and immediately they sprung up, since they had no depth of soil. But since they had no depth of soil, but what? Hold on, they sprang up since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched. Okay, and since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Ooh. Other seeds fell on good soil, produced grain, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He has an ear, let him hear. Okay, that means it's speaking to one person. It doesn't say those. Okay, just to point that out. Right, and they talk about points of parables, and Isaiah blinded them, all this stuff. Okay, the explaining of that, which is that's not important. Okay, what is important to go down to where verse 36, which is parable of the weeds explained. Okay, so there was actually, hold up, wait a minute. Parable. Okay, this is a different parable. I'm confusing y'all already. I'm confusing myself. Yeah. So immediately after, after I just read that, then you can see if you have your Bible, you can see. Use the ESV too because they have the good titles. All right, the parable of the sower explained. That says parable of weeds. So it's the second parable after this. So the first one, sower, then explanation, then parable of the weeds, and then it's another explanation after that, I believe. Okay, no, mustard seed, and then the patterns of stuff's always interesting too. Like, why is the mustard seed between the parable of the weeds and then the prophecy and parables? Why is it, like the first time it's different? It's just a different kind of pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like they're split up before with that one. Anyway, so actually go down to so parable of the weeds. Basically, the whole point of the weeds and the end says gather the weeds first and burn them in bundles to be bind them in bundles to be burned, but gather the weed in my barn. I wonder if that has anything to do with standing and sitting grain, stacked rather, standing and stacked. I don't know. I have to look. Okay, so 8 minutes. All right, the parable of the weeds is explained. This is where it gets. This is important. I think. No, actually, it's not. All right. So basically, what you need to get on that last part is they burn the weeds. Okay. Now let's go to what's the name? Judges. The Judges. It's like the 7th or 8th book or something. I don't know. I think it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, verses 19. I mean 14. You have 19 verses. Yeah, it does. Okay, so this is about Samson. If you don't know about Samson, you should read it. Chapters 13 to 16. One best. I love it because he killed everybody with a jawbone, and that's John's middle name, so he thinks he's Samson. So he thinks Samson uses him to. I don't know. It's a long story. So so Samson. Okay, Samson was an Israelite, and he married a Canaanite. Okay, so did Solomon. Well, Canaanite. So it's like Babylonian. So what they had what's called Babylonian weddings. And on a Babylonian wedding, the wife has sex with as many men as she wants to get pregnant. So they do. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. We're in America. America's Babylon. So this is how we should be having sex. And this is what we should be doing. Like we're commanded to do it. And if I don't follow Jesus' commandments, I'll die. I'll get killed. I ain't trying to die. So, all right, I ain't reading all that. I don't feel like reading nothing right now. Okay. That didn't really matter. So, all right. Chapter 15. After some days at the time of the wheat harvest, Samson went to visit his, I guess he got married, right? He went, and then, oh yeah, he got married. And then I guess I kind of need to tell you a little bit about it. There was this riddle that he didn't tell him and something. And then it's implied that she had sex with him. Or she did have sex with him. Or wait, the companions had sex with her because of the Babylonian wedding, right? And then, I don't know, that was the whole purpose of all that was so that we would know that it involved sex. Okay. All right. So now and then here, okay, after some days at the time of the wheat harvest, Samson went to visit his wife with a young goat. Okay, see, this is where it kind of parallels the what was it? So no, the first one was the weeds. Okay, because the harvest is harvest, right? And he said, I will go to my wife in the chamber, but her father would not allow him to go in. Her father said, I really thought that you utterly hated her, so I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister more beautiful than she? Please take her instead. And Samson said to them, this time I shall be innocent in regard to the Philistines when I do them harm. So Samson went, caught 300 foxes, and took torches. He turned them tail to tail and put a torch between each pair of tails. When he had set fire to the torches, he let the foxes go into the standing grain of the Philistines and set fire to the standing grain. And that's a pretty good way to do it. And standing, I mean, not to the animal, but it's pretty, I don't know, effective. Standing grain of the Philistines and set fire to the stack grain and the standing grain as well as to all the workers. So I wonder what the stack grain and the standing grain has to do with the bundles and the. Anyway, all right. Then the Philistines said, who has done this? And they said, Samson, the son of the Timnite, because he has taken his wife and burned her to be his companion, given her to be his companion. Or get, what? And given her to his companion. Okay. The Philistines said, came up and said, and burned her and her father with fire. And Samson said to them, all right, that don't even matter. All right, so you see now okay, the point, and we didn't read that part. Samson had 30 companions. Remember we said 30, 60, and 100 fold with the weeds? Was it weeds? The sower, the seeds? Yeah. That's where the 30 comes in. Okay. Now I'm about to show you where the 60 comes in. Anybody ever told you that before? No? Okay, you believe it's not true? Or wait, do you believe it's not true? You question it? I mean, you should question it, but here you go. For the proof. Song of Solomon, chapter 2. Voice 8 or verse 8. The voice. This is okay. This is the bride speaking here. So it goes back and forth. The bride speaks, husband speaks, and then other people. So the bride speaking right now. The voice of my beloved. Behold, he comes, leaping over the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a giant. I mean, not a giant. A gazelle or a young stag. Behold, there he stands. All right, listen to this. Behind our wall, gazing through the windows, looking through the lattice. He's looking through the lattice. What is he looking at? My beloved speaks and says to me, arise, my love, my beautiful one, and come away. For behold, the winter is past. The rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing has come. The voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The fig tree ripens its figs, and the vines are in blossom. They give forth fragrance. Arise, my love, my beautiful one, and come away. Hold on. Oh, she says my blood. I was like, wait a minute. She ain't saying that because I remember it was her, but she, I forgot that I read my beloved speaks and says to me. So this is actually he's saying all this stuff, like the lattice. Or no, he doesn't say nothing about lattice. She's talking about lattice. Right? Yeah. Okay. So then, oh, my dove, in the clefts of the rock, in the crannies of the cliff, let me see your face. Let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet and your face is lovely. Catch the foxes. We talk about foxes. That's how it's related. For the little foxes that spoil the vineyards, for our vineyards are in blossom. Okay. So that just, and that was the cuckolding right there. That's Samson watching his woman behind the lattice. Okay. Now listen to this. We go to behind the lattice. Listen to this. Proverbs chapter 7. Cool. That's close. I thought that might have been Mary. And Mary ain't cool. Mary would. I live with Mary and Joseph. And Joseph has a bad trip. He's crazy. Dementia. Um, Mary would disown me. She would kick me out. If she kicked me out, I go live. I go live in those woods in a tent. I kind of would like to. Actually, this ain't bad. I would like to sleep outside. Kind of. I mean, if it rained, I'd sleep in that little shed back there. But I would go sleep back there in a heartbeat in a tent. especially as girls back there. It was just like, what girls go sleep in the woods? Huh? No, we go camping. It'd be fun. No, because I'd have like a bunch of other dudes, which ladies would be like, I'd have three. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Not really, but so no, if she wouldn't be like she. Uh, Eventually, my word is going to get out. Okay, so eventually he's going to find out. Mom, eventually, going hopefully, I don't know. Actually, I don't want mom listen to these. Rather, just avoid these, mom. If you're watching this, just anyway. Um. Anyway. So anyway, like I was saying. Oh, Proverbs 7. Where we at? Oh, come back. Don't do that. 7. Okay. No, I said 7. And now this thing's acting up for whatever reason. I get to hit it a couple times or whatever. Like, okay. So here. Now, we talked about lattice, right? Listen to this. Okay, this is warning against the adulteress. My son, keep my words, treasure my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live. Keep my teaching as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister. Call insight your intimate friend. Go read when Abraham shares Sarah. It's like Genesis 12, Abram and Sarah go to Egypt or something, I think it says. Okay, say to wisdom, you're my sister. Call insight your intimate friend. That's to keep you from the forbidden woman and the adulteress with her smooth words. That's from keeping a man from cheating and looking at porn. For at the window of my house I have looked out through my lattice. This author is allegedly Solomon. Okay, that's who authored the last one, the Song of Solomon. All right, hold on. Where is it? For at the window of my house. Wait, I'm having hiccups now. Really? I have. Yep, I guess so. I have looked out through my lattice. I hate hiccups with a passion. I do. I hate it. It annoys the heck out of me. I have seen among the simple, I have perceived among the youths a young man lacking sense, passing along the street near her corner, taking the. I keep, I keep waiting to burp or not burp, hiccup. I'm not paying attention to the words. Okay, I'll stop. For at the window of my house I have looked out through my lattice, and I have seen among the simple, I have perceived among the youths, a young man lacking sense, passing along the street near her corner. So you see what's happening there? Solomon's behind there both times. The first time he's enjoying, like, watching her, and the second time, uh, a late. I mean, he wrote this. Solomon wrote this, but it's written in. I mean, it is his. He did. This is him. My son. Yeah. What am I talking about? Anyway, I don't know. I used to, because I guess wisdom, maybe wisdom starts chapter 8. For whatever reason, I was thinking 7 through 9 was the wisdom chapters, but chapter 9 and 7 is not. This is straight Solomon because he says, "For at the window of my house," that's him. Okay. All right. Is there anything else I was going to say about that? I don't think I need to. Oh, yeah. Last thing, the 100. Okay, that's this right here. Wait. We ain't even said the number yet, have we? Oh, because we got to go to this one. I ain't even showed y'all the number. You got to go to the next chapter in the other book. Chapter. What the hell's going on here? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Move. This. Go back to Song of Songs. Chapter 3 this time. Okay. Now, chapter 3, verse 6. What is that coming up from the wilderness like columns of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and frankincense, with all the fragrant powders of the merchant? Behold, it is the litter of Solomon. Around it are 60 mighty men. Some of the mighty men of it. What is going on over there? Somebody coming here. Good gosh. What's going on here? They did have a helicopter. That was a long time ago, though. Okay, I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to throw this against the wall if. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. I'm being dumb. Okay, so. Behold, his little Solomon around at 60 mighty men. So he got 60 men. That's a 64. That's his wedding. Okay. Some of the mighty men of Israel, all of them wearing swords and experts in war, each with his sword at his thighs. Sword, that kind of sword, against terror by night. Okay, so that's the 60. Okay, the 100 is Genesis. Go to Genesis, and then I think it's 26. Okay, this is Isaac. Okay, Isaac shares Rebekah. Okay, he lets her have sex with Abimelech, the Philistines. Okay, he shares her. right? Go all the way down. Now, he eventually shattered with Abimelech. And this is because the Bible, it does say he didn't let Abimelech touch him, but he didn't let Abimelech. The other dudes did. Okay, so it's kind of like him. He is caught because anyway. What does it say? 100-fold. Yeah. Oh, and Isaac sowed in that land and reaped in the same year 100-fold. The Lord blessed him, and the man became rich and gained more and more, and so he became very wealthy. Yeah. See, that's right there. He sowed. They're gonna get him. Hey, you don't need. We don't need any of that. What? What's the point? Okay, so, um, yeah. Also, 100-fold is mentioned somewhere else in the Bible. I forget. It's in the New Testament. Something about 100-fold. Oh, I think it where it talks about if you deny yourself, if you lose your life, you'll receive 100-fold in this life, eternal life in that. It talks about 100-fold. One of those parables. I don't feel like looking for it right now. So anyway, all right, that's it. People, please, again, share my information. We need to get this out. Okay, I need my information to get these pastors. So, the thing that's wrong in this world is we got these pastors saying the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, this world is not our home. Where does that come from? Because you think, oh, Jesus said my kingdom is another world. That had nothing to do with that. My kingdom is not this world. He was saying that is because if he was like the world, his whole point was he'd be fighting if his kingdom was of the world, because that's what kingdoms of the world do, is they fight in the physical. That was what he was saying when he says my kingdom is not of this world. If you read a little bit closer, you'll see. Anyway, John 3:16, for God so loved this world. Anyway, we'll have another video about that. All right. So again, the couples who want to get pregnant, anybody just want some free marriage counseling, me and John are the couples. And let's say something else now. I forget. Oh, young women, old women, whatever. He's got to be 18. I'll help y'all. I'll restore your fountain. Okay, that's what Jesus did with women when he restored women's fountains. That's what he was. Because every woman's supposed to be able to squirt. I've never seen a woman squirt. I just think it looks cool. But y'all should be able to do it. Why not? I mean, all men squirt, right? Then women should too. All right. Love you all. Peace.